Hi, my name is Josh, and this is something I've been hiding for quite some time. I wanted to tell the story of my porn and sex addiction. It's been happening for many years now, and I finally built up the courage to finally talk about it. So, without further ado, here we go. It all started when I was about 14. Yeah, 14, and I remember a lot of the boys at school were like all sharing porn with each other. Like obviously at that age, you're definitely curious about sex, so I would understand why they would do that. And well, I started consuming that myself. I started looking that up on my own family's computer, and well, as I consumed more and more, I started becoming more introverted and weird, especially around girls. And because of that introverted weirdness, I started becoming more bullied, and pornography became this like sanctuary from the bullying that I would look up very frequently. By age 15, I had gotten my own computer for the first time, and by then, like, pornography had become my main thing. Like, you know how in autistic people they have that main thing that they do over and over again in order? That's what it became for me. I mean, like every day I would look up certain porn sites in that exact order just to see what new videos that they had. And well, my taste at that point, my taste had become more specific. Like yeah, like I had to get more and more specific stuff in order to get the same high that I did when I was about 14, which in retrospect is definitely the escalation effect in action. And um, well, around that time, my goals and aspirations started just fading away, and all I really cared about was what porn to do, to watch, and when to get it. And my mental health declined because of that. I mean, I had increased anger, I had increased depression, I had increased anxiety, I had inc- just slowly just became more detached from reality, and yeah, it really just tanked my mental health. By age 16, my mental health had just absolutely plummeted. I believed in every corner there was like invisible cameras watching me and broadcasting for reasons that I didn't know. And because at that point, I had literally spent an entire, is either term two or term three holidays just watching porn. And I should mention for anyone outside of Australia that term two or term three holidays would be roughly 2 weeks. So I literally spent roughly 2 weeks just watching porn and only leaving my room to eat, go to the toilets, or sleep. I mean, that's just how bad it had gotten at that point. And look, and oh yeah, there was, sorry, at that time, I remember the only time I've ever seen a teacher talk about, the, the reality of pornography. It was one of those. It was it was that yeah it was that hat game that every health class has, where you write down the question and you put it in the hat, and then the teacher reads out the question and answers it. And I forget what the question was. I know it was porn related. But I distinctly remember him saying, "Sex doesn't happen like that," which, and he just didn't really elaborate on what that meant. And when you've never had sex before and your only exposure to sex is pornography, well, you can't fully know like how it's not real. But basically the worst thing to happen in that time, I used to frequent those websites where it was like camera, like webcam to webcam chat, but they like randomize who you were talking to. You know that? Can't believe I'm saying this on camera for the first time. Um, well, anyway, I had met what I thought was a woman, like age 16, and well, my age 16, not them, and we started chatting, and she said, if if you show me yours, I'll show you mine, or something like that, and originally I said no, but she started pressuring me to, show me show me mine, and um, well, after a lot of convincing, and I pulled down my pants, and I did that. I foolishly did that, and um, I I did what she told me to. I showed her my genitals, and also my ass, and I distinctly remember her saying "yummy" to the entire thing, like, and I it, so never talked about this before. She, after that had happened, she just said goodbye, and she moved on, and it, it wasn't until I turned 25 I realized what had happened there. Like, I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit in the story, but it's realized that a predator had tricked me into showing my genitals, Like, at the time, like, I didn't know what to make of it, and I just thought, oh, they must come from a country where 16 is legal, because 16 is legal pretty much throughout Australia. So, but you know, it wasn't until I turned 25 I realized that I had, let a predator groom me, and like they knew I was 16. They knew I was underage, and every day I live in fear of either screen caps or footage of that event showing up somewhere online, and it's just I I would I, I didn't I I wish I could go back in time and just stop that, you know? Just stop that. And anyway, after that, I had moved on. Like the exact day that I turned 18, I decided to buy pornography for the first time. Like, I was at the legal age to do so, so I decided to buy it both online and also in an adult shop where they have those DVDs. And I started buying more and more porn because, I was just addicted to it, and I I just bought so many porn that 2 or 3 months later I ended up going broke because of that. Like, I'd saved up quite a lot of money over over the years. I think it was about $1,000 I managed to save up from like odd jobs and allowance and whatnot, and within a few months I'd spent that all on pornography. And in retrospect, that should have been the first sign that something was up, but I just pushed it aside. I was like, oh no, oopsie doopsies. But yeah, it was a sign of things to come. By age 22, I'd just become this absolutely sexually frustrated man. I mean, here I was, absolutely sex obsessed, but I'd never had sex. And so since I was sick and tired of being, not having sex, I decided to lose my virginity to a sex worker, which is something that I deeply, deeply regret doing. And pretty much after that happened, it felt like a very hollow victory. I didn't feel like I earned it. Surely, I was no longer a virgin, but it just felt so hollow, But anyway, even though I had that hollowness, I still decided to continue hiring sex workers very frequently. And just like my porn use had gone into like escalated into more specific things, so did what I did with sex workers. I mean, I quite literally took an idea that I'd seen in porn and then asked sex workers to recreate it, for the right price, of course, and which it's definitely a testament to how much pornography had just overrun my life back then, And I think one of the worst things is that even though I was paying, top dollar to be with these absolutely beautiful 10 out of 10 women, I still had to think of pornography in order to get it up. So, which once again is definitely a testament to how much rule pornography had over my life at that point. I remember I would have been 23, yeah, 23. I was just scrolling through social media when I came across an article about how my favorite porn star had died, and I just remember being absolutely just taken aback and just lost for words, and just that this would happen. And I'd also realized then, and it's such an awful thing to say, but unfortunately it was true, is that her death had affected me more than some of the deaths of my own family members, which is just, I know it's a horrible thing to say, but it, it just made me, like, it just made me question everything that, about porn. Like, it made me question it, like, okay, am I in this too deep? Or and am I way too attached to porn or something like that? And well, and it was the first sign that something might be up. Like the first time I realized that something might be up, and I just brushed it off really. Like after that happened, just went back to my usual porn addicted routine, and just moved on. I remember when I was 24, I decided to go to one of his adult entertainment expos, and it was just the saddest thing I've ever seen. It's like, especially the line to meet the porn stars, just get your photo taken with them more. And I'll admit I did that, and it just looking at all the line of men, just it's just like the saddest group of men I've ever seen in my entire life. Like these dudes, like they were clearly not mentally okay. They clearly had severe issues. There was clearly something up with them. And like I remember one middle-aged guy in the line, like he was building up the confidence to go to, well, essentially get your photo taken with him. But I saw that guy leave halfway because he just couldn't muster up the courage, which, poor guy. But is that, I don't know, but it definitely gave me a new perspective for a bit. Like, it made me think about, who was consuming this the most. And in retrospect, this was the second time that I knew something might be up, but once again, I just brushed it off and, just kept going around my porn routines, Around the time I was 25, a certain adult subscription service had gained quite a lot of popularity, and well, naturally, I was going to subscribe to that, and because I was so addicted to porn that pretty much I would just try to get my hands on it wherever I could, and that, I'm not gonna be honest, that bled my bank account. Like, I didn't go broke, but I definitely spent way too much of my life savings on that, and yeah, I'm not gonna recover financially from that. And anyway, I think the worst thing that I did back then was, there was this woman that I had met like 3, maybe 4 times, and she started advertising her adult subscription service on her own socials, which had a real name on it, which that has to be like just like a security, what's it called, security concern. That's definitely a security concern right there, because people know who you really are. And but still, anyway, yeah, she started advertising it on there, and I I ashamed to admit, but I did subscribe, which is like, it's so creepy, like that entire thing, like you would buy the adult subscription service of someone that you know, I'm just, it's so creepy. And people do that. I did that, and like I didn't think anything of it at the time, but now that I'm older and slightly wiser, that was so wrong. Like, that was honestly so wrong, and I it's just wrong. Well, sometime after that, obviously the pandemic hit, and well, obviously we're all forced to, well, spend a lot of time isolated. So obviously we all started thinking about a lot of things, myself included. I decided, I was forced to confront the reality that my pornography addiction had caused, and and all the problems it had, and all just everything I'd done. And I'd realized just how much of a problem I had, and I decided to get rid of my collection, decided to get rid of the DVDs, and also everything I bought on my hard drive, and also all my accounts. And okay, which in retrospect, why did I buy DVDs when digital media existed? When, yeah, why did I do that? I don't know. I guess that porn addict's mindset just makes you do funny things. But anyway, sorry. Anyway, so I decided to. I saw this clip of a guy completely and absolutely completely just verbally decimating like all these like pro porn people and I decided to, well, he was advertising his course, and I decided to buy his course, which that I did an interview with one of his assistants, and it was the first time I had ever talked to someone about my porn addiction, and I gotta admit, I broke down. I broke down in that interview, and to this guy that I only just met, that day. And well, of course I bought the course, and it's, the way to describe that course is that it's good, but it's not good for me. Like, it's more for the entrepreneur type, and I'm not really an entrepreneur. I'm just, I'm just me. And but still, I learned a lot from that, and honestly, I wouldn't say it's too much of, it's not really a waste for me. And so yes, I was just building my, essentially just laying the foundation to, well, starting to quit this thing. A week before I turned 28, I don't know why I decided to do this. I decided to hire a prostitute again, which is so idiotic. Like, why would I do that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just completely nonsensical. But anyway, I remember that she seemed very out of it. Like she was mentally somewhere else. Like, she was probably high on something, and well, that suspicion was only confirmed when I saw her do multiple lines, and I don't know how to. Is I pretty much my entire perception of the sex industry had just completely been just came crashing down in that moment. It's like, I knew it was, just a job, but I didn't. But it was the first time I figured out that there might be something wrong with the industry, and well, after that appointment, I decided to, I head home. I to my apartment, and I just burst. I just broke down in the. I just broke down in the kitchen. You know, like absolute like flood of tears just falling down my face because it's like everything clicked in that moment. And realize what a horrible industry this is, and pretty much further research has only backed that up more and more. Like, I keep reading about all the drugs that you have to do in order just to you know do your job, but and also all the sex trafficking, all the sexual assault, all the shady practices, all the sexual predatory, all the just everything that could be wrong with the industry is wrong. I mean, it's just so evil, just absolutely evil. And I do not want a part of it. I don't want a part of it. I think life would be better without it. You know, because the way that they groom, young people into the industry is it's just so messed up. It's deplorable. It's sickening. It should not happen. And yeah, and I also realized just how much I hurt people with my actions. Like, you know, realize now I'm a perpetrator. Perpetrator? I was part of a problem. Like, you know, every John ends up hurting you, and either mentally and or physically, and I'm a former John, so I I would never even wish my worst enemy to be in the industry. I would just, if you're watching this, please stay out of it. Please, please stay out of it. Just and also just stay as far away from the sex industry as you can. You know, man. And well, after that, I got better. I started, going to the gym more. I started just started doing more and more research on the industry, and I just started getting better. Like, my life just became better, and you know, I I want to help. I want to help bring down the industry. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I'd basically that's pretty much my life story. And also a general warning about porn in the sex industry. So anyway, stay away from the sex industry, and take care of yourself. Anyway, goodbye.